So, this Pokemon could quite possibly be banned as soon as it's released because it is just so good. Its name is Marshadow. It's actually the last Pokemon supposedly in the Alolan Dex, so I assume it's going to be mythical because it comes after Magearna. And hopefully they don't take as long to release this one as they did Volcanion in Generation 6. But if we look at its stats, it is balanced across the board. It really doesn't have any major weaknesses when you look at its stats. It has a great speed stat, a good attack stat, and everything else is at least decent, which I think is amazing. It has the Fighting Ghost typing, which is very good offensively. It hits tons of things for at least neutral, and its ability is Technician. So Technician gives a boost to 60 base power moves and below, which you'll see in a second actually becomes very handy for this Pokemon. As far as weaknesses go, it only has 4, and it actually has 2 immunities and 3 resistances. Resisting Rock is huge because it only takes 6% from Stealth Rocks every time it switches in. So if you were to run something like Leftovers on it, it would get most, if not all, of its health back every time it switched in, as long as it wasn't getting hit by anything else. Excuse me. As far as the set that I wanted to give it, I looked at some of its different moves, and I was thinking either Assault Vest or the new item Marshadow or Marshadow Z would be the best. So I put a Jolly Nature with max attack and max speed on it, excuse me, because I thought this would be the best given its stats. It's still really powerful, but with a max speed base 125, there's not going to be many things at all outspeeding it, especially Gen 7 Pokemon, where nothing likes to be over base 70. So as far as its moves go, it gets Spectral Thief, and I also thought Drain Punch, Shadow Sneak, and Rock Tomb would be the best moves on this Pokemon. So what Spectral Thief is the best physical ghost type move in the game, in my opinion, and it's unique to this Pokemon as far as I'm aware. So what Spectral Thief does is it steals all of your opponent's stats and then hits them. Their stat changes, I mean. So it's like a Psych Up, but it's also a 90 base physical ghost attack. As far as I can tell, it is not a 2-turn move, it is a 1-turn move. Whether that changes or whether it has any negative side effects once the game comes out is yet to be released. But for now, I cannot wait to see this move in action, because if your opponent set up, say, a Dragon Dance, a Quiver Dance, Agility, all these different moves, a Shell Smash even, it could just steal it, hit them really hard, and then have all these stats and probably have them knocked out. Drain Punch and Close Combat are just there for power. If you were to run Assault Vest, I think Drain Punch would be better because you would be getting your health back instead of reducing your stats so you could stay in longer. Shadow Sneak I threw on there because with Technician, it's base 60, and then you get the stab boost, so it's really powerful, but like I've said in other videos, we'll have to wait and see if priority is common in the meta or not. And then for the last move, I threw on Rock Tomb, because with Technician, as you know on Breloom, it's 90 base power rock type move that reduces your opponent's speed, which could come in very handy on this Pokemon. Some other moves that I thought might be useful on it are Force Palm, which can cause paralysis, and it gets the same boost due to Technician. It gets Bulk Up, so it could set up, and its base 80 defense, which is originally its lowest stat, could be boosted, and then it would be hard to kill on either side. It gets all of the elemental punches, so if you needed any kind of coverage, you would have them. It gets Feint, which, depending on how popular Pokemon like Toxapex, Chestnut, and anything that commonly runs Protect would be, perhaps this move would be good, and it's also priority. And then finally it gets Will-O-Wisp, which, even though Burning was potentially nerfed, I've heard from sources that it only does 1/16, so it does the same damage that Leftovers heals now. It still could be very important to drop the attack of your opponents. And what Marshadow Z does is it boosts the power of Spectral Thief and can make that attack absolutely insane. And that stone is unique to Marshadow. So I can't wait to see this thing in action. I hope that they release this thing very soon after they release the games, because I cannot wait to see this thing in action.